Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to tap the bell, subscribe, and comment down below. Hi guys!
How are you?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
We're good. We're just getting ourselves ready, kicking the dogs out of the room so that they won't distract us. And
No, it's all good. I know that whenever I Zoom with people and my dogs are in the room, they just instantly start barking because they hear the other voice. It's like, no, please don't.
If you hear crouching at the door, you know what it is.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, my dogs do that too.
Or it's
Awesome.
like the chewing on the toy. Like they'll be fine all day, and then as soon as you get on an important call, they start
Yeah,
chewing on toys and bones and
yeah,
things.
of course. Right when there's something important to do.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining us in this interview, and I'm really excited for our conversation and yeah, where that's going to take us. So,
Yeah.
why don't we get started? And you guys can introduce yourselves. You can talk about where you live and then what you do for work.
You can go first.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I live in Toronto with Greg, who will introduce himself separately. But I am an emergency doctor.
Yeah. And I'm Greg. I also live in Toronto, but I am from Australia. I've been here for 10 years, and so I am Canadian, and I work in marketing for Sun Life.
Very, very cool. What's the weather like in Toronto right now? Is it cold?
It is sunny and it's like 12 degrees, and this winter has not felt like winter at all. It's been really strange.
Not complaining.
Yeah,
Other
no,
than other than
that sounds
the
good.
climate change
Health of the planet,
health of
but
the
yeah.
planet things, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely. It's freezing here, like really cold. So cold that
Oh,
school buses weren't running today. But
oh my
yeah,
gosh. It's crazy how different it can be. I mean, we're so far away from each other geographically, but
yeah.
yeah, it's wildly different.
Oh, absolutely. It's pretty crazy. So, how long have you guys been together for?
We've been together 12 years, and actually
Maybe to the day
maybe to the day
that
Really?
it's to the day that we first
saw each other.
saw each other. We actually didn't officially meet right away, but we kind of were chatting. We had a number of friends in common, um, and we were kind of checking each other out.
Yeah. So, as of like how many years ago? To the
12.
12
12?
years.
12 years to the day, essentially.
12 years to the day. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And we've been married for 7.5 years. Yeah. We have a few anniversaries, so it's kind of
Yeah.
tough to remember which is the one that we choose. So we
Oh, yeah.
celebrate all of
I
them,
was gonna
Yeah.
basically.
say, people
Exactly.
always ask we actually had three weddings, so we people always ask us what we choose to celebrate, and it's really all of them.
Huh.
Everyone.
Interesting. I might have to get you to explain the fact that you had three weddings at some point here. Can you give us a picture of how you guys met each other?
Yeah, definitely. So I know that I was talking to a friend of mine after I'd got back from a trip. I was in London for a month, and he told me about this awesome guy that he'd met at, and super nice, friendly guy, and it was Andrew. But we did not end up meeting until that mutual friend had a pool party, and we were sitting by the pool, or I was in the pool or something, and we started chatting. And then at some point during that day, the two of us went to grab snacks for everyone. And we were in the chocolate and candy aisle of the grocery store. And we both kind of realized we have a love for dark chocolate. And so we were both kind of talking about how much we love dark chocolate. And I feel like that was the first spark for sure.
That's a really unique and cute connection. just over the love of dark chocolate. Not very many people will say that they love dark chocolate either, so it's like, what?
So we actually have in our TV room upstairs a jar that is constantly stocked with chocolate bars.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
It's our addiction is dark chocolate, and we over COVID we started like putting this jar in our TV room, and we just kept it.
At least dark chocolate is supposed to be better for you.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I mean, let's just go with that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we tell ourselves that.
So, what was your first impression of each other upon that initial reaction or even the first couple dates?
I remember the first interaction that we had. I mean, I obviously thought he was very handsome, and he was Canadian living in Australia, so I was like, that's kind of exciting. But I remember when we first started chatting and in the chocolate aisle, he was just kind of fun and silly and like didn't take things too seriously, and that's kind of how I am, and I was really drawn to that. And so I feel like that's been like a theme of like our relationship is that we just love to like have fun
Yeah.
together, and like we never shy away from the silliness.
I love that. That's very refreshing almost to
Definitely.
have a partner like that and for the both of you to be similar in that way too. That's really cool.
No, it's totally like I remember our mutual friends like when I had first heard about Greg or I think when they um when one of our friends first knew that I was seeing Greg, they were like I forget what the wording was. It was like, watch out, he's one of the good ones. And there was something like very specific
Yeah.
about how it was said that it's like and it was, I just remember with every minute that I spent with Greg, um, I'm like, he really is. Like, he's really just somebody that's so grounded and kind and
Aw.
lovely and fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't forget fun. That's
Yeah.
important too. It's good to be grounded, but it's good to have fun.
We'll
So,
have that balance, that's for sure.
oh yeah, that's awesome. Can you give us a picture of what your daily lives look like or what you like to do for fun, hobbies, things like that?
You can go first.
Sure. So my daily life, I'm like, as a shift worker, my daily life is sometimes my nightly life.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes my evening life, my morning life. So um, I usually will try and get in some exercise, be it going for a run, going to the gym, doing some kind of like a class at a gym.
Yeah.
And I balance that with, I will usually try and get to like we always try and fit in some kind of at least one meal together somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, and I will do things around the house
Hmm.
and will get out for my shift. Kind of uh, find the time in between my unusual work schedule to find to prioritize us
Yeah.
Yeah.
and social time.
Yeah, I feel pretty similar about that. I mean, like, if it's like a weekend, then a typical weekend is like usually I'll go grab us coffees, or we'll grab coffees together. We'll take the dogs for a walk. We'll, maybe go to the gym or go for a walk, go for a hike or something. We'll always catch up with friends too. We like to see our friends and our family as well. So there's always a social aspect to our day.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's important, especially when you're someone that thrives in those social situations and it's important to be around friends and family as well amongst a busy lifestyle of working and going to the gym and whatnot. But even going to the gym can be considered social too, I guess. But yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's something that we we value in our life. And it doesn't have to take up a lot of time, but it makes us feel energized for the day.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we connect on that for sure.
Very, very cool. So, you guys have a slideshow
Yeah.
prepared. Could you share your screen and we'll just take a couple minutes and we can go through some pictures?
Yeah. Um, yeah, so this is us. We wanted to include a variety of different photos that capture some of our life. The first one on the left was we were back in Australia visiting my family. We try to go back once a year, and we'd all rented a house together on the beach. There's another photo on the next slide with all of my family together. And so we just had a fun time, like one day with everyone taking photos down by the beach,
Building
uh,
sandcastles.
building sandcastles, playing with our nieces and nephews. And then the second photo in the middle is actually a photo from our Toronto wedding. So we can talk about the weddings in more
Yeah.
detail, but this was really fun. We had capes as like a surprise. Halfway through the party, we came out in these capes, and our friend had like mixed together a special song for us to dance to, and so this was like a really nice moment captured by our photographer.
And then we distributed capes for everyone else
Oh
to
my
have to
goodness.
dance around in.
Wow.
So everyone got a cape.
Everyone got a cape.
That's so cool.
And then the third photo was actually taken by a good friend of ours who is actually a talented photographer that we'd spent the day with them going for a walk in just a pretty part of Toronto. And this was just kind of a photo we felt captured a little bit of the silliness, that side of us as well. So, um, yeah, so I think this is introducing us.
So this photo is actually from it's a few years old because it was from our first wedding. So our first wedding was in Hawaii, and it was our legal wedding, and we kept it a secret apart from the people in this photo who were our immediate family. So this photo is a combination of my parents, Andrew's mom, our brothers and sisters and their partners and kids.
Here, there's at this point we have two nephews that came along, but since then we have another five nieces
Oh,
and
wow.
nephews to add that we have all have very special relationships with.
The next, so these are more recent. So on the left is my family with my nieces and nephews. So that was on that same beach vacation when we were back in Australia. And again, we were just like, we took a serious photo, and of course, the kids, it was hard to get them to smile. So then we did a silly one. And we just love this one.
And then on the right is my family. So it's my mom, my brother, and my sister, their spouses, and kids. And this was at my mom's 75th birthday was actually in Dominican Republic last year.
Some more photos of some of our travels and fun. So the left is like our most recent trip, which was to Taipei. And then the middle one is a photo from that Hawaii trip. My brothers and Andrew's siblings had thrown a mini bachelor party for us and bought us these outfits to wear. So that was fun.
And then on the right is that's in
Taormina.
Oh yeah, that's in Taormina in Italy. So we were there for a good friend's wedding um, a couple of years ago.
And then yeah, this is the last one. Just a photo of us. I feel like this is a pretty typical photo of us. Like, it was taken. We were up in Blue Mountain with a bunch of our friends. We'd rented a house together in winter, and we were going on an adventure in the snow. And yeah, took a fun photo.
Yeah, I love that. It
And I
also
think that's
sounds like you've got some friends around the world and then you get to go and travel and go to their weddings.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we've also had a number of friends who have wanted to have destination weddings, like the Taormina Sicily wedding. There were friends from Sydney,
Very cool.
obviously our friends in Taipei that got married. We got married in Hawaii. Like it
Yes.
seems to be a theme in
Yeah, I
our
like that.
group.
That's a
And
cool
we've been
theme.
lucky to be able to go to a number of these events and celebrate with people that are really important to us.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
loved ones.
it's been good.
Very, very cool. So we're gonna switch gears. The slideshow was wonderful. Thank you for sharing those pictures. I love that. Um, our conversation is gonna go more into your surrogacy journey and what that has looked like so far. So, can you give us kind of a quick little summary of what your journey has looked like so far?
Yeah, definitely. So I think we've always talked about wanting kids, Andrew and I, like since we've been together like the last 12 years. And across that time, we've seen friends go through different journeys for creating families.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them using surrogates, others adopting.
Yeah.
And the surrogacy side just really connected with us. And so we started exploring and getting information about it and kind of laying the groundwork a few years ago in
Mm-hmm.
probably early 2020, just pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
And in the last number of years, we've really spent time trying to create embryos. Um, we had some setbacks early on, just in finding an egg donor. And then a really good friend of ours actually came to us last year and asked us to be donors for her. And in that process, we realized that actually we could create embryos together, and she would have embryos that she could use for herself if she chooses to. We would
Yeah.
have embryos for us that we could use for us. And she's a really, really special person in our lives. She's someone we love intrinsically. She would be an aunt to our
Yeah.
kids, regardless of whether or not she's biologically related to them. We trust her in everything, and so that was really where we're at now. We have made embryos. We're going to make some more with her, and we feel really lucky to have that opportunity.
True. I think it's something that we've spoken to each other about a lot, that we feel so incredibly lucky that we live as a same-sex couple, that
Mm-hmm.
we of two guys, that we live in a time and a country, a place that we are able to create embryos, that we can have a child by
Yeah.
surrogacy, and to raise that child as our own. It's such a an incredible gift that that is even on the table for us, and we don't take it for granted for 1 second, and we love the idea of taking advantage of that.
Well put. I think you said exactly that, and I think that you have a really good understanding of just the value of being able to be in Canada and be so close to home with your egg donor and having a relationship with her, and then as well as your surrogate because she'll be in Canada as well. So that's super exciting. Do you guys have any? Well, I'm sure you do, but what kind of hobbies are you looking forward to introducing to your child when that time is right?
We have a lot of hobbies, I would say. First that comes to mind, Lego. We have a lot of Lego.
A lot of Lego.
During the pandemic, actually, we built a Lego city on our dining room table because we just
Weren't
had
having
time.
dinners at the dining room
Yeah.
table
We
anymore.
had
We're
time to do it.
hosting.
Yeah, yeah, so that was fun. I love cars, and so I one of my nephews loves cars, and so I get so excited when I get to buy his birthday and Christmas
Oh yeah,
presents. I
yeah.
just send him so many cars. So, I mean, I'm not going to force that onto our child, but I do
Yeah.
hope that they do have an appreciation. And
Oh,
same with
absolutely.
dinosaurs for Andrew.
Oh yeah.
Andrew loves
Yeah.
dinosaurs.
Yeah. Dinosaurs are very cool.
I don't think I
So
know.
I really do hope that, I think these are all things that these are the kind of things that we get excited about,
Yeah,
and hopefully our child would be excited about them as well.
absolutely.
But we're also really excited to explore whatever interests our child comes up with.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
for sure. I will say I don't think I know a child that doesn't enjoy Lego or dinosaurs or things like that. Like they're such fun little hobbies, and yeah, it'd be really cool to teach them how to build things and be creative, and along the way they'll develop into the little people that they're meant to be.
Totally. Agreed. We're excited for the prospect of like having a kid that introduces us to new hobbies
Oh
too,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
things that we wouldn't necessarily think of. So it goes both ways.
absolutely. Do you guys have baby names picked out?
So we do. I
You don't have to
there
share if you don't want to. You don't have to share, but
I will share. We talked about this before. So I have a folder, a notes folder in my phone that's been there for the last 12 years.
yeah.
And we add names in there all the
Mm-hmm.
time and remove them as well.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Often
remove
the
them.
conversation starts that I think you're gonna hate this name, but yeah.
But
But
but so I won't tell you the top ones, but I will say that there's two names that we plan to try to work in, or both of them, or either of
mm-hmm.
them, into our child's name, depending on the gender and everything like that.
Yeah.
One is Gray. My mother's mother, so my grandmother, is very close to her. We're very similar people. She passed away about 10 years ago. Andrew had yeah, he was lucky to meet her and got to see her.
Oh, very
So
cool.
her last name, her maiden name was Gray, and so I kind of like the idea of doing that. And on
Yeah.
your side,
So I love the name Rose, which is one of my grandmother's names. So my grandmother, she passed away closer, I'd say close, almost 20 years ago
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
But was just an incredibly kind and important person in my life. Unfortunately, Greg didn't get to meet her,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I love the name, and if there's a way that we could carry that forward with and her
Yeah.
legacy forward
Oh,
with our child's
absolutely.
name would
Yeah.
be nice.
Maybe a middle name or a
exactly.
hyphenated name of
Yeah.
some type. Yeah. That's really cool. I love that. I have a list too. I don't know who doesn't. Like it's such a common thing to go through. Oh, I really like that name, so you write it down so you don't forget it. Otherwise, you just kind of forget about it. But very very cool. Well, I have one last question for you, and that is, what are you most excited for right now in this moment?
I am really excited for, meeting potential surrogates and like, I think it's just such a cool and generous, and selfless thing that
Mm-hmm.
women, do, and I'm just like excited to meet people, and hopefully move our journey forward. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we're finally at a stage that we do have embryos, uh, which felt like getting there was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
work, and we know that there's so many other steps and variables, and a lot still ahead of us before we even get to the point where we have a child and go down that pathway. But I'm so excited to meet some of the incredible women
Yeah.
uh, that are surrogates, and yeah, and to take this next step together uh,
With
with
them.
you all. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You've finished the phase of your finding your egg donor, and you've built that relationship and whatnot, and you'll continue that relationship with her. and then you're kind of just in this part where you're waiting to start the new phase of meeting your surrogate and then building that relationship. And yeah, just one step at a time to building your family. So that's very awesome. Well, thank you so much for the wonderful interview, and I was really excited to get to know you guys a little bit more and hear about your story. So wonderful job.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, we will keep in touch.
Will do.
Okay, see you.